Editing videos is something most creators are going to have to learn to have a successful career. Today, I will go over my method of editing all of my videos for free and what I do. If you find this video interesting, make sure you leave a like and subscribe for more, but without talking more, let's just get right into it. So, the software I'll be using is called hitfilm for Express, which I will leave a link to in the description below. But if you want to know, this video I'll be editing in this actual video is for Falco, I'll put his links in the description as well. And also, if you're wondering why this video is a little more like choppy than normal, it's because I'm not reading off a script like I normally do, so it's just kind of like freestyling it. But going in, the first thing you want to do is start a new one, and you want to start editing just by going to project. Now, I changed my audio sample there, since for this video I'm doing it's at 4800 besides the normal one. So what I do here is that it's sped up 300%, and all I'm really doing here is just skimming through it. By skimming through it, actually I'm just going through it, which I should have made this a little bit faster, but that's usually what I do with a video like this where I'm working on someone else's project. I just skim through it, get a good idea of where to start, where to end, and all that. So you just, other people's projects, it's a little harder to do, as you actually have to like watch it a lot versus projects that you do on your own. Like for me, I know exactly, I could pinpoint and remember where parts are, so I could be like, okay, we start here, we end here, and I could just think of all the little points since I know. But with videos like this, I have no clue, so I actually have to watch it all the way through, and it was like a 45-minute video, but I just trimmed it down to 5 minutes. So this video is going to be a little bit long on how I edit it, but I tried to cut down as much as possible and speed up as much as possible just to get the main points out. But I'm just sitting here, just absolutely just going through it. I do find a spot eventually. It's over. I'm trying to get a good spot, since it's really where you want to find a good spot to put it. So I found it right before everyone started talking, right in a nice little calm state where it's just peace, then just in. And if you're wondering if you want to watch this video, you can watch it over at Falco on his YouTube, which again, links will be in the description for him, and congrats to him for winning Gamers Got Talent. Pretty poggers thing to do. But what I do here is that I'm looking for a good place to start now that I have a general idea of where I want to start. So I'm gonna keep it real. Editing is not as like glorious as you'll probably think it is. It's a lot of back and forth. You'll be watching the same thing over and over, so it's kind of like creating music in a sense, where same idea, just music I would say is honestly a little bit harder to make, but you have to go back and forth and keep re-listening and watching to it just to get a good idea. So this is gonna look a little boring, but that's what editing is. So hopefully you actually enjoy editing like I do, where it's actually fun for you. But if you don't, probably it's gonna take a while for you to get used to it, but trust me, you'll get used to this. I will be using, or I have been using the software for a couple years now, so it's a lot better for me, as I know every in and out versus new people, which that's why this video is targeted for. Actually, it's just newer people that have not edited before. So I chose a video that I could edit that would be a little simpler for new people, so it's not all in your face with all this technical stuff. So there's gonna be some pretty basic stuff in here. There's nothing fancy. It's a couple cuts, some movement, I can't think of the name of it, but just pretty simple stuff, honestly. But yeah, all I can say is that the more you practice with this, the more you'll become comfortable with this. So pretty simple, but again, as I'm doing here still, I'm just looking for a good spot to just do it, which again, you're just going to be doing back and forth for a while. So it's just, that's what happens. So anyway, what I do here is that I'm waiting, and you'll notice when I make a cut, since as you can see right in the left, but not all the way to the left, you see all these like little tools at the next to the editor sign. So they're all different. Right now I'm on the arrow tools, so I can move anything, I can just drag anything, I can touch anything, so nothing's gonna cut or nothing's gonna split. It's pretty cool how that works, but it'll probably take you some. So right here, as you can see, I chose my slicer tool, sliced that, did this, delete this. So just right click it, then press delete. Now I have where I want to start, drag it to the very beginning, so I just have it there, since for some reason, I don't know if most people do it, but I like having my stuff starting at the very beginning, and I just like moving everything, so I have it in a nice order, you could say. But yeah, now what I'm doing here is I'm just watching, seeing what happens, just making sure everything's going good, which I know I was here for this. Actually, I was in the VC when he was doing this, so I had a basic idea of what I wanted. I had a little bit of ideas going through my head, like, okay, I want this, and that. But with videos like this where you honestly don't know everything, you have to just kind of like come up with stuff on the spot, versus videos of mine, my creative sense is just going off, and I already could think like, okay, this is what I want, here I want it, this is everything. So again, other people's projects are a little more difficult than your own, so just keep that in mind. This won't be as hard as videos you make, you'll understand where you want everything and where to cut it. So it's pretty simpler, so it's actually easier with your own self than with other people. But once you get used to just editing in general, you can actually edit for other people, and if you're good enough, you can make money from it. So if you find this enjoyable, you can make money from it, so that's pretty pog. But what I do here is that I make a slice right here, then I make a composite shot, which is basically just gives me everything to do. And if you're wondering what just happened, I just went to Google on my other monitor and I looked up pause champ, which is an emote. It's that one specifically. I went to go look it up. I put in pause champ PNG on Google Chrome, which that's usually what I do. You just have to make sure it's a PNG, since a lot of times it's not. So what I do here is that I find it, and I want to, if you don't know what pause champ is, it's basically like you're pausing because you know something's big's gonna happen. So it's just like a, oh, is it gonna happen? Oh, it's kind of one of those emotes if you don't know. But what I do here is that I make a composite shot, which I don't know why actually, I didn't really need it, but dragging the image, it's right there. I also got pack chomp, which is the other one, but it's not PNG, so you'll later find out I have to change that. But I didn't really actually need this composite shot. All I did was just put an image in there, and all I'm doing is moving it. And what I was trying to do, since it wasn't like, it was like, you can see rounded on the right side, but there's a square cut corner on the left, so I lined it up with the left side so it didn't look as sloppy. Then what I did here while I had a composite shot was the opacity, or yeah, basically like how much you can see of it. I just turned it down, so I turned it 75, then 50, then 25, then 0, so it fades in, you could say. This makes it a lot easier to do since it's something nice, so it's just not just pops in your face, because I'm not a fan of that for some reason. But yeah, basically what I do here is that I let it fade in, like, oh, pause champ, question mark, and basically just let it run out. Pretty simple stuff, nothing too crazy. It's just a simple put it to the left and just make it fade in, which there's honestly easier ways to make it fade in. I'm just lazy and I didn't want to do it. So what I did here is that I just waited. I was like, okay, when does his name pop up? And it's right there in Falco. So what I do here now is that, again, as you just saw, I had the pack chomp, which is the excited pause champ where his mouth is just open. You can also use any other emote you want, but I just use that since I just feel like that's what you're supposed to use. But what I did here is that I made another composite shot by cutting it, and this one I had the pack chomp, which, as you'll soon realize, it was not a PNG. But if you're wondering what I did there, I just really zoomed in on his name so you could really emphasize that that's him. So basically it's pretty simple. Yep. Then go to your import, then right there, pack chomp, but it just turns out it's not a PNG. As you can see the little white around it, you'll know if it's a PNG since it'll have like the checker board behind it, so it's pretty simple to tell if it's PNG or not. If it's white or like fully black, it's not PNG. So what you do here is that I go back to Google Chrome, find another one, bam, there's another one. You can tell the difference, it's the checkered one, so that's how you know it's PNG file, or transparent you could say, since they're both PNG files, just one's transparent, one's not. But what I do here is that I aim it up, and I was doing the same thing where I wanted to make it look a little cleaner, but I decided against it. I was like, I might as well just put it close to his name so you just understand that it's his name. Then after a while, I found out that I didn't like how it did, since what it did is that while it was scrolling upwards, the text, it went in front of the emote itself. So what I did is that I just made a key shot basically, where all I do is that when the text moves close to it, the image itself to move. So as you can see right there, position, turn that on, and every time the image get close, I just move it. So well, it doesn't go like this, it's more smoother, it just moves upwards with the actual text itself. It just makes it look a lot better, so text isn't going straight through it. So yeah, it's pretty simple concept. It works pretty well actually. I do that on a lot of videos I do. Keyframing, you could say, I think that's an actual term for it, but I don't actually use terms. I'm not all fancy like that. I just do whatever looks cool and whatever works. So yeah, so as you can see, it's moving. It's a little sloppy there. I wish I made it a little bit cleaner, you could say, but I was fine with it. It's nothing special. We didn't need some really just intense, really well done thing. So what I do here now is that I want Confetti to come out. So what I did is that I went to YouTube, bam, here's my channel, by the way. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. You can just press the subscribe down below. But I looked up Confetti and it autocorrected to Confetti Cake, which I did not need. So what I do is just get rid of the confetti, and I put overlay since that would make it easier. Found this, I was like, okay, this is nice. It's 4K 60 frames, which, not bad. but I was looking for something that actually came from the top instead of the bottom. But this was also awful, as well as it just faded in. I wanted to like explode like that where it popped. But what I did here is that I copied and pasted the link. I went to youtube.mp3, then I changed it to an MP4, so basically it's a video. Then I did that. Then now this is sped up 300%, so you don't have to watch the download. Download it, minimize it. Now what I'm doing here, to just clear you up, I'm waiting for it to download actually, but basically now that you have the video, go to import. You want to import the video itself, then I just put it up here, and to actually make this like fade in with it so it looks clean, there's a couple methods you could do. So as you'll see right now, it's just the black screen in the middle of the entire screen itself, so I zoom it in so it covers up the entire screen. Then what I do here is I go to the controls and I try to make it like dimmer, you could say. The opacity, I turned it down, but I didn't like it. It didn't look right to me, so I turned it all the way back up. What I did is I right clicked on it, went to go blend it, and I didn't know exactly what blending I wanted, so I went to line blend because that's usually a good go-to one, and it worked fine. I was like, okay, this is nice. It worked. Now, after this, I did realize that this was really, really long. So what I did is I cut it right here since I didn't need it to be like 30 seconds long. What I did there, I went to history since I'm used to my effects being there, but I moved it to the right side so I have ease of access with that. That made it fade in, or fade out, my bad. So it just fades out like that. So it's a little cleaner, you could say, so it just doesn't just snap, disappear. It's just fading out. So pretty simple what I did there. Now, what I did here is that I zoomed in on his face by making it another composite shot. Or not composite shot, my bad. I just cut it so like this one small section that right here, I could mess with it and do whatever I want with it. That's usually how that works. You just make little small segments that you want. What I do here is that I find it. Okay, I'm like, bam. Drag the corners, zoom in on his face, get real nice and close. Bam. I didn't like how zoomed out it was because, spoiler alert, and if you're watching this, I don't like how small your webcam is. Make it bigger, please. But what I did here is I just zoomed in some more. Bam. I was like, alright, that's probably good. Then bam. So yeah, there's his face. It's a nice little zoomed in, so it makes it a little more emphasized on his face, like, happy. I do it a lot. You'll see in most of my videos like this, but yeah. Now, what I do here is that I'm just keep watching. Right here, that's me that just subscribed, because that's just how I am. And I did a little Easter egg here, which I sped up since, to be honest, I took this out later since I didn't like it. I thought it was actually quite stupid, but at the time, when I did this at like 12 a.m., I was like, oh, this is kind of funny. I'm going to do this. Took this out, so that's why I sped it up. It literally means nothing since I took it out, but all I did was zoomed in on me subscribing and put this dude has a big wing, which I took that out again. So yeah, basically what I did here, pretty simple. Then I just did this. It's pretty simple actually. It's just redoing what I've done before, but again, as I said before, I did take this out. That's why it sped up. But just go on. Now we're at 900%. Since what I'm doing here is that I look for, basically I'm looking for the end, you could say, since now that the big surprise is over, I'm just looking for the end, which you'll see is that I'm doing basically the same thing where I'm zooming in and out on his face, which it's just pretty simple stuff. Just make a cut where you want it to start and make a cut where you want it to end, and then those two cuts in the middle where the actual footage is, you zoom in on his face or wherever you want. Pretty simple stuff, to be honest. Some of the first stuff you should learn. Then what I use here is I was going to use code ANT, but it wasn't official yet, which once it is, use code ANT at gfilm.com. But from now, I just zoomed in. And bam, what I'm doing here is I'm just looking for an end, which this part was a lot harder since, again, it was a 45-minute long video. And I didn't want to drag it out too long since it really didn't even be that long. So what I did is that right here, he leans back and just says yes, which I thought that was a good ending because it was like a nice little, finally, the battle's over type deal. So what I did here is that I had to go back frame from frame since someone in the background said something right after and I didn't want that to be in. So I cut it out, and what I did was that the audio bar on the right, what I did is that I just waited until it was at 0. Then I just cut it, then delete the rest of it. Then what I do here is that basically I rewatched the whole thing, but I had a fade to color, so basically it fades in, which you'll see in almost all of my videos, they fade in. So it's a pretty simple trick. You just go to effects, type in fade, and bam, what you do is that it will fade in, so it looks a little more professional, which I like. But what I do here is that sped up 1500%, which all I did is I rewatched the entire thing to make sure it was cool, changed a little bit of things up, but just went all the way through, make sure it was all nice and ready, since again with a project like this I usually watch it all the way through, and with most of my videos I watch it all the way through just to make sure. But with projects like this, again, I just want to make sure, since again it's not my project, so if I screw up that's kind of on me and I don't like that. So what I do here is I open up this ending screen I have for him, which is just a picture of him that Nick took, which I'll probably put his Instagram below too, since he was a pretty big part in this whole competition as well. So shout out him, pretty poggers of him. But what I did is that this little end screen, so for me, when my videos end, you'll see it's my YouTube channel with the VHS filter on it. I just did that, but with this. So I have this picture I have of him. I just put his socials on it. This is where his end cards and all that goes, which is pretty simple. It's just every YouTuber almost has it. Put that there, and what I did is I dragged it out 20 seconds, because that's how long cards can be. They're 20 seconds long. So drag it out 20 seconds. Then what I did here is I zoomed in so I could put a fade color in the middle of it, so it's a little more cleaner, where it's fading from one side to the other, so it's not black then fade in. It's just color, fade to black, fade in, so it's a little cleaner. Then what I'm looking for here is my VHS filter, which it's dogged all the way, or it's all the way in my file, so I just blurred out everything. So it's pretty simple. Then cut it out so it matches up with the actual image itself. Then what I do here is that I zoom it in all the way, then I go to controls and I turn the opacity down to about 50, somewhere around there, maybe a little bit higher, so it's not too like taking up the screen and it's not too dim as well. Then what I did here is that with all my videos, you'll notice I have the same song at the end, which I wanted to do here, and I did do it here actually. I grabbed my song that I use. Then what I did is that I was like, I don't like how this sounds, so I just cut it out basically. But all I'm doing is lining up my actual song that I use to put at the end, which again I just cut it out. So I should have probably sped this up, but I didn't, since it's wherever it is. But pretty simple. All you have to do is just line up where you want the music to start, then just cut it and just put it there. Then as you'll notice, which you won't since I muted this, because to be honest, the reason I muted it is because I was in a voice call with them, making sure everything is right while doing this. So I muted it, but right here, the song's going, you can see the meters on the right going off, and I was like, I don't really like this, so I listened to it one more time. It was like, nope, this is not it. So I just deleted it, and I just left it silent, because I felt like that was more professional. You could say it was more like sincere, I guess. It felt much better than before. Then what I do here is fade to color, then fade to color again, so them two fade to black instead of just ending. And then I fade that audio, which basically, if you won't hear it most of the times in my videos because it's very loud compared to the music, but it just fades the audio down so you just can't hear it. But what I do here is I again rewatch the entire video at 2000%. This is fast, but basically I just sped it up 2000% so you don't have to watch this, because again it's like a 5-minute video. But I just watched the video, make sure everything worked, make sure everything was neat and nice, wasn't too extreme. Once that, I just exported it, and bam, you are done with editing. You just press export with whatever settings you want. You finish that out, and bam, you're done. So anyway, that's how I edit my videos in 2020. Hope you enjoyed. Sorry again, this was a little sloppy, as I don't have a script for this, as I can't really make a script so well with this, but hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned some stuff with this. Again, if you want the link to this actual software I use, it will be in the description below. Also, Aunt Falco's links will be in the description below. And Nick, who was the photographer and helped Ant with all of his stuff, that will be in the description below. But again, if you found this video interesting, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe for more. And YouTube, until next time, see ya!